Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Apples and Ginos Fantasy Hockey Podcast. This is week 11 of Trade Talks. My name is Brian, and I'm joined by Josh and Kevin. And today we'll provide some trade grades on some real trades. We'll highlight some players we might be looking into target as well. We're going to have a lot of fun. Here we go. All right, we are live. Josh, Kevin, you guys are not Ryan and Evan, so how are you guys doing today? How are we doing?
We're
doing
great.
doing good.
Good.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here. For those of you that don't know, both, I guess I'm already forgetting their names, Evan and Ryan. They're not going to be here today, but we got some great replacements here.
You've already forgotten about them.
Yeah, we forgot them. They're gone now. We got Kevin, we got Josh. Kevin, I know you wanted to say a little bit about your own plug here, so why don't you jump in and introduce us to you guys?
For sure. Well, Josh and I are 2 out of 3 hosts of the Banger Management Fantasy Hockey Podcast. Yeah, it's been a few years we're in the game, and a lot of our viewers, honestly, are Apples and Ginos fans, just like we were before starting our own podcast. So really happy to be here. We're on literally every platform, so Spotify, Apple, YouTube. If you want to listen to our content, we cover bangers, categories, leagues mostly, and just all that good stuff. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, I will tell you, I love the Banger Cats. So definitely, for those of you that are listening, make sure you guys check them out as well. Really quick before we get into things, we already got a couple comments. We got Roman here popping in to say hello. Hello, Roman. Hope you're doing well, man.
Sup, Roman?
Yeah, we're going to have a good time here. I think we're going to kick things off by starting to jump into exactly what the people want. And that is going to be a little bit of the newsies here. So as Blake likes to say, we're going to jump into the newsies. Kicking things off here. I'm going to rip through these. First of all, Brandon Hagel is still day-to-day. He got hit by Seth Jones. I don't know if you guys saw this, but since he injured Barkov, he's been hurt, I think, 3 times against Florida. So real question for Kevin, I'll throw it to you first. Is Florida just, making it a habit just to target him at every single chance they get?
I mean, at this point, I feel you can't call 3 times in a row a coincidence. It feels like he's kind of getting targeted. And if you saw the clip, you saw Seth Jones had that locked and loaded from meters away. He was coming for him. So I feel bad for Hagel. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Yeah. Hopefully it's just a minor concussion, but definitely not fun for him.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the next time they play Florida, just be a healthy scratch, let everyone know ahead of time. Otherwise he's going to be missing a couple games. We got Darcy Kemper just jumped to the IR. He got smoked by Rantanen, if you saw that. And I'm watching that game. I'm thinking to myself, Rantanen again? This guy's becoming the new Brad Marchand. I don't know what's going there. So, but the way it looks like right now, Forsberg will be the one in net. Josh, you picking up Forsberg in any spots?
No, I'm not too interested. Honestly, if you've been following LA this year, the only reason they're getting any points is because of Kemper. It's not like Kemper's benefiting from a good team. It's the other way around. So now Forsberg gets to inherit a team that can't score more than 1 goal a game and has no power play, and he's just a way worse goalie than Kemper. So I view this a lot like the Eric Comrie situation when Hellebuck got injured, and anyone who picked up Comrie knows that didn't work out too great.
Yeah, let me tell you, I picked him up and I dropped him. I dropped him almost as quickly as I picked him up. It did not look good. But hey, in other news, we got Joseph the Brick Wall back. I didn't think it was going to be off to a great start when they went down 2-0, but the Leafs got back on track. That's how they do. He came back. He got the win. I know we're all diehard Leafs fans here. Isn't that right, Kevin and Josh, right?
Clearly, yes.
Yeah. Oh, I should probably mention. Yeah, we got Leafs here, Leafs hat, repping it.
Montreal natives over here, so we're gonna be on the opposite side on this one, but
but fantasy value above all.
Yeah,
yes, always.
There you go. And then in other news, we also have Quinton Byfield. He missed 1 game. He's returning to the lineup now. I started watching a little bit of the game. He's looking nice. He moves out there, but he's not doing much from a fantasy perspective. Do you guys think he's gonna get, I don't know, a little bit of a run here or put up some points? Because the eye test, he looks good.
I had him towards the end of last year and he was really, really good. I think the biggest like issue for him right now is the fact that they won't put him on power play 1. I think if he gets that deployment, and also, I mean, the whole Kings team can't score right now. So it's a mix of if he gets the deployment and they can figure out what's wrong. I mean, I think they need to fire the coach, but a few things that could happen that would make him immediately jump up in value in my eyes. But for now, I'm not too interested.
Yeah, that's fair. I almost picked him up for the early week stream this week, and I just thought to myself, I can't do it. I can't do it. Also, a couple more comments here. We got Banger Manage and Represent. We got some fellow
Frank.
followers.
Frank,
I
know Frank from the Discord. Shout out.
Shout out, Frank. Thanks for hopping on here. We also got a trade right off the top here. Bangers Cats. We got Forsberg and Celebrini or Natchez Zibanejad. Which side are you taking? Josh, I'll throw it to you. What do you think?
This is an easy Forsberg Celebrini to me. I think that kind of the one name that sticks out here like a sore thumb is Zibanejad. So if you're like Celebrini, Natchez, Forsberg are all playing at like second round, even first round for Celebrini level. But Zibanejad, while a solid guy and he has a great playoff schedule, just can't hang with these other guys. So getting 2 for 1 is a clear win.
Yeah. I would have to agree. Definitely. I also just... I have Forsberg in a couple spots. I want to believe that he's going to start popping off. Like he did get a hat trick a couple games ago, so I'm hoping this, the wheels will start turning here. But we'll see. We got another comment here. As a Kings fan, I can confirm we cannot score. Yeah, that's true. But what do you expect when you sign Cody Ceci in the offseason? He's not really like an offensive threat here. But hey, let's move on here. We got a couple more news to get through. As you can see, this is dedicated to the Vegas Golden Knights. We got Jack Eichel is dealing with an injury there, so he's out for today's game, which is today. We are Wednesday. Yeah. Oh, it is illness. He was an illness.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty much just an illness. Like they're gonna hold him out for today, but I don't expect him to miss any more games.
Yeah, let's hope not, because he's been obviously great this year. We also got another one. Shea Theodore is dealing with upper body injury. The guy is also a little bit made of glass, so it sucks to see that because he's putting up some good points. He's not going to be playing tonight either. Kevin, you got Jack Eichel or Shea Theodore in any spots?
I wish I had Jack Eichel in many spots this year, but I unfortunately do not. But Theodore, I'm happy I avoided him this year. I was just not really in. He's a very one-dimensional defenseman for a power play that is very successful, but he's not always on that PP1. So it's kind of just like one of those situations you just don't want to be a part of, even through the highs and the lows. Yeah,
absolutely. And you know what? Like I was out on Shea Theodore, and I just looking at his recent production, I'm like, oh, he's still putting up a lot of points. Like I don't know, is he on power play 1? Is he not? Like he's not on power play 1, and he's still getting points. So we'll have to see that. But that's going to wrap up our newsies here. Let's jump into a couple of our trade targets. These are players that we are looking to trade for. We might kind of throw out some names that we think aren't producing right now that we believe in. So we want to look to try to pick these players up, go after a manager who's feeling it, not really feeling like great about his team. I'll kick things off here. I got Willie Stiles, William Nylander. This is also, keep in mind, before yesterday's game, because yesterday he did put up 2 points. So thanks a lot, William Nylander. You're screwing up my my trade target here. But before yesterday, he was only at 4 points in his last 8 games. His shooting percentage, all the underlying metrics have gone pretty cold for him. Shooting percentage, like I said, ice cold the last 5 games. Scoring chances and expected goals per 60 rank are way down. This is, I guess it could be reasons for concern, but I don't think for Nylander specifically. What I've noticed definitely looking at the Leafs over the past year or so is that a couple players will definitely feel the effects of the Craig Berube system, but Willie Stiles has never really been one to be impacted that much. He had a great year last year. I expect him to have a great year this year. Otherwise, you look at other players, at least like Austin Matthews. Obviously, we think that could be a little bit something to do with the system there. But all to say, Willie Stiles, Willie will his way to production. You guys like that? Willie.
I like that. It's like that Buffalo kind of vibes.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm looking at William Nylander here. The other thing you got to keep in mind is if you have Nylander, let's say even in a categories league, if he's not putting up points, like he's not doing much else, right? He doesn't hit, he doesn't block, which are obviously things we value. So if you can go after a manager who's maybe struggling a little bit in his matchup, they might be willing to pry their hands off of William Nylander. And I would definitely be going out to go and get him. What do you guys think? Would you look to pick up Nylander?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unanimous. I love it.
Yeah, no, this is a no-brainer. He's doing like it's like you said, like when he's not scoring, like lately at least. Like normally he's good for shots, but he hasn't even been shooting much. So the straight zeros. If it's a guy like low in the standings who has him, you got to snatch him up.
You got
I was
it.
gonna say, like, just tacking on to Josh, like when this is the type of player that if the manager is succeeding in the league, they're not really very likely to trade them. But if they're on one of those teams that's really struggling, then you have an opportunity to get in.
Absolutely. All right, our next target here, we got Jesper Bratt, a personal favorite of mine. I love me some Jesper Bratt. So let you guys take it away. What do you guys think of Jesper Bratt?
Yeah, Jesper Bratt was my pick. Honestly, I think he's a fantastic buy low right now. I think all of New Jersey in general is struggling. Like if you just look at their roster, it feels like every other day there's another starting player that gets crossed off the healthy list, and and they're really down bad right now. And I think Bratt specifically, like this is a point per game player that we know we have a good sample size to know that he's going to get back there. Right now he's averaging 0.43 points per game over the last 2 weeks. Like that's really bad.
Wow.
That's usually his power play points.
his power play points are abysmal. Like this is a guy that's used to getting 0.4 power play points, and New Jersey is always one of the best power plays in the league. But you know they can't figure out the defenseman situation. Jack Hughes is not there now. Timo Meyer is not there, so it just kind of feels like so many pieces are dropping like flies. And there's absolutely better days ahead for Jesper Bratt. And I think as New Jersey gets healthier, we're gonna see the old Bratt come back. And I really want him on almost all my teams. Like it just feels like if I don't have him already, I'm trying to target him in a trade.
Listen, I can solve New Jersey's power play right now. It is put Luke Hughes back on the power play. The guy is a stud. He needs power play 1. He'll help him out. Jesper Bratt, I think, is amazing, especially in a category league. What surprises me with Jesper Bratt is he doesn't look like the player that hits a lot, but he still averages like a decent number of hits a game, and that is super, super valuable. So, yeah, the points will come. Definitely, I'd be looking to pick up Jesper Bratt. Kevin, is there anyone in particular that you'd be looking to offset to acquire Jesper Bratt?
Yeah, I have some targets locked and loaded. This is funny because Jesper Bratt was a guy we mentioned on one of our buy low episodes recently, and I think right now you can trade like Carter Verhaeghe, who is on fire, who is a guy that we highlighted as a sell high. I think right now with what he's performing, like the sentiment around Bratt is just so bad. I'm seeing questions in our Discord. People are like, they're trying to trade him away. So I'm like, if that's what everybody wants to do, you can send a guy like Verhaeghe. I think you could even send Brandon Hagel, which is on the higher side. Like he has a lot of value, but he's not on PP1, and I want that PP1 exposure. And I think even like Brian Russ right now is a guy that has a little bit of name pull, is kind of not. I don't want to say squishy, like we say, like he gets hurt very often.
Yeah, he's definitely.
But right now he's on fire. I think these are all names that you can try to sell for Jesper Bratt.
Yeah. You know what? I would actually even do the same thing for, I forgot to mention a couple of trade targets I do for William Nylander. I'd be looking to ship off for Haggy for Nylander, see if they can bite on that, because like you said, he's been red hot. The guy becomes a dad, he gets dad strength, and all of a sudden, pucks are in the net on nonstop. Couple more comments here. Let's see here. Thoughts on this trade, Fiala, Bussy, and Hedman for Shesterkin. I have Radish as well. Roto, goal assists, power play minutes or power play points, penalty minutes, shots on goal, hits, blocks, face-off, wins, save percentage, and shutouts. Let's see here. Josh, what do you think?
That's a no-brainer Shesterkin to me. That's Bussy's like a waiver guy who like he's on a hot streak right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's dropped in a few weeks. Hedman, honestly, he's out until February, and I don't think he's getting power play 1 back from Radish at this point. And Fiala's solid, but you're talking about like one of the best goalies in the league with the best playoff schedule. So I didn't even need to wait for the Cats. I knew it was absolutely Shesterkin.
Yeah, I can't argue with that too much. We got another one here. We got from Roman. What do you think are the chances of Binnington becoming Winnington or getting traded? Josh, what do you think? You think he's going to get traded, or do you think he's going to start winning? Which one happens first?
Is neither an option? I mean, he's definitely not getting traded, and I think that everyone out there who has Binnington, you have my approval to drop him. But look, I think everyone's kind of hoping that they pick him for the Olympics, and then he goes on a run like he did after the Four Nations. I don't see it happening. I don't think he should be at the Olympics for Team Canada. So we'll see what happens. But no, I'm not betting on a big turnaround for Binnington this year.
Yeah, that's fair. Kevin, do you disagree?
No, I completely agree. I honestly, I think the only silver lining for his value is if he goes to the Four Nations and has that like motivation back. But I mean, they're playing Hofer more than him right now, so it's just kind of like everything's bad.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Another one here. We got thoughts on Hedman, Nurse, and Norris for Heiskanen and Meyer. Kevin, I'll throw this to you one first. What do you think?
I mean, give me Heiskanen and Meyer easy. I think this is. I'm not shocked that this is a question, but I mean, Hedman is. I feel like he has only name value at this point. He's clogging your IR for the next 2 months, and then we don't even know what his value is going to be when he comes back. Nurse is just a banger guy. Norris, I'm. If you guys listen to the podcast, I'm a huge Josh Norris fan. I drafted him, held him for the whole 2 months he was out. But Heiskanen is a stud, and Timo is out indefinitely, so it feels scary. But like, it just Dahlin was out indefinitely and came back like 2 weeks later. So
yeah,
I'm not. I think that's a great discount you're able to get on Timo.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to hear about Hedman a couple more times before the end of the podcast here today.
Popular got to get questions about now.
Yeah. All right, we're going to finish up with our last trade target here. We got Sebastian Aho. Josh, take it away.
Yeah, so Aho was my pick. This is another guy that I feel like we're hearing a ton about. Everyone who has him hates him right now, and other people are like, what's going on with him? Or more likely, if you don't have him, you're not really thinking about him because his name hasn't shown up on the score sheet. He has no points in his last 5 games. He's averaging 0.57 points per game over the last month with only 0.14 power play points. Last year, he was near a point per game with around 0.3 power play points. His shooting percentage is at 11.7 versus a career average of 15. This is the lowest percentage he's had since his rookie year, and he's been around a point per game every single season of his career except his rookie season. That's 7 years. So I have no doubt in my mind he's going to end up around 0.9 to 1 points per game, and I think that it's a great opportunity to buy. And yeah, some targets that I mentioned there. Joel Eriksson-Ek, I mean, he's riding high on this whole Quinn Hughes hype, so I think you can definitely flip that. Nazem Kadri's been on fire, but I don't believe it's going to last. And Sam Bennett also, after, if you've held him all season, you're like, wow, he finally woke up. But if you held him all season, you should remember the lows and get him off your team before it goes back to that.
Yeah. You know what? I actually just flipped. I acquired Sebastian Aho, and then I just flipped him again for Dylan Guenther. And the reason I did that is just for the off-season schedule, and I need a right wing throughout. Otherwise, I would have loved to have me some Sebastian Aho because, yeah, definitely believe in the player. If you look at the system in Carolina, as Rod Brindamore does, he rolls all 4 lines, but there is one common theme, which is Sebastian Aho is on the ice at all times. So he's going to get a lot of ice time. He gets a lot of opportunity, and he's too talented to not put up some points. So, yeah, I believe in the player. Definitely go out and acquire some Sebastian Aho. I think we do have a couple more comments here. Comments are flying in. I love to see it keep coming in. Are the Leafs buy low right now? You know what? I say no, and I'm a Leafs fan. I just think the Leafs, it's a mess. Like, I think Matthews will get a little bit better. Nylander, obviously, we know. I think he's getting a little bit better, but I don't know how much better they're going to put up. Like, if you're looking at some of the underlying metrics of the team, like they're efficient right now in scoring, but they're not really creating much. So that has me a little bit worried. Josh, see nod your head there. Do you disagree? You agree?
I think a lot of the top Leafs are buy lows. I mean, you mentioned Nylander at the beginning. I think that's a huge one. I think Matthews, I mean, he's kind of not really a buy low anymore because he's putting up the points again. But if people remember how he's been doing since like 2 weeks ago, he was a huge buy low. Tavares is another one who's been just awful. And I mean, Nyes is just, even though he hasn't been putting up the points, his backcuts are solid enough that I don't think anyone's too upset having him. But these guys are just too talented. And even with, the system and all that stuff, like, I don't see any of these guys being under a point per game. Like, I mean, Nice hasn't done it yet, but I could see him being point per game. But like the other 3, I think are locks for it. So if you can get them for cheap, then it's a great time to do it. Yeah,
absolutely. We got so many comments here. I'm going to try to rip through these as much as I can, but at some point we got to keep going on with the content here. But we got another one here. Would you guys do Zegras and Cider for I'm going to guess that's Vasilevsky maybe?
Yeah, I haven't heard Vasilevsky before.
Vasi or Shiesty in a points league. So Zegras and Cider for Vasi or Shiesty in a points league. I'm really running 0G with only Wool, have Hedman and Fox on the IR. Interesting. Kevin, you want to take this one?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, when a question like this comes out, I always like to know what the replacement value is, because to me, this is basically like Cider for Vasilevsky, and then who are you going to pick up to replace Zegras? Because I think Zegras is definitely replaceable. I mean, he's been way better than everybody expected, I think, going into the season. Like, he was just basically a dart throw at the end of your drafts, pretty much, or picked up on waivers. If you're a 0G team, like, and you can acquire Vasilevsky for this price, like, this is a no-brainer. Still Shesterkin as well. I think I would really want to acquire him, but I think Vasilevsky is better. So if you have to pick up the later, I'd go him. But this is a trade I'm doing for sure. And then, pick up the best guy on waivers, and you probably get good replacement value on Zegras.
Fair enough. I will say the Apples and Ginos, we are very much 0G here. So anytime a goalie's
Yeah.
involved, I go, forget it. I'll find a streamer. Give me the good
Yeah.
players here. It doesn't really matter unless it's Hellebuck and you get an insane value. I'm not doing it. We got another one here. My Gunther and Cider for Brat and Saros.
I'm not doing that.
No.
I'd take Slider over Brat, and Saros is almost droppable, and Genther I really like, so I'm not doing that.
Yeah, he's been pretty brutal, Saros. Yeah. Okay, let's move on here. We're going to jump right into our trade grades. So these are the trades that were submitted in the Discord, in the Trade Talks mailbag channel. If you do have more trades, feel free to keep sending them through to us. We love reviewing them. If we didn't get to them today, message me directly or keep firing them off in the Discord and tag us. We'll be able to get to them on the next one here. But our first trade here, the very first one submitted by actually Evan, who decided not to show up here today, and he submitted a trade. So we love that. We got a points league, so APL scoring. You get an extra point for D-man. Goal, so a goal and an assist. You're going to be giving away Luke Hughes, and you're going to be receiving Drake Batherson. For those of you that have recently traded with Luke Hughes, he seems to be picking up production, so we'll be curious to see what we all think of this one. Right off the hop, getting into it, Brian's boom. I give this an A. I'm doing this all day. I think that Drake Batherson's having a great year. He's very, very productive. He's being used in a way that makes a lot of sense for the Sens. He's on that top power play, which is really clicking. And like we've already talked about, the Devils, they're struggling. I believe in the player Luke Hughes, but I just don't think the team environment right now, they got too many injuries. Kevin, like you already mentioned, like they're dropping like flies. And I think that's really going to hurt him. Now, mind you, he is shooting a lot, and recently starting to score, but until we see the rest of the team kind of progress a little bit here, I'd be taking that Drake Batherson all day. Next, we got Josh's jurisdiction. Josh, what do you think?
This is an A+ no-brainer for me. I mean, I'm pretty low on Luke Hughes as far as people's opinion on him go. I think that there's just so many obstacles in his way right now to become the player that everyone wants him to be. First of all, he doesn't have a lock on power play one. It's him and Dougie. Simon Nemec came in and took it from both of them somehow. Like, I don't think he has any lock on that spot. And without power play one, I have no interest. With power play one, then you also need Jack to come back. You need Timo to come back. You need them to start playing to their full potential. All that to say, even if Luke Hughes hits that ceiling that everyone expects, I'd still prefer Batherson to him. So to me, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah, can't argue with that. He gives you a lot more of those peripheral values too, right? So,
yeah.
Next, we got Kevin's will. Now, Kevin, I do have to say before you give your trade grade, I couldn't find something that rhymes with Kevin. So
nobody can.
Yeah, so we had to settle for Kevin's will. I hope that's okay with you, but walk us through your will here.
I'll allow it. I mean, listen, everything that Josh said, I basically reiterate. I have Drake Batherson on my main league of record team, and I'm very happy with him. I'm not too big of a Luke Hughes fan for all the reasons that Josh said. Like, he's already has competition for his one role that gives him value. He's very one-dimensional. I think Batherson hits multiple categories. He's on a way better power play right now, and he's exposed to high-level talent. And I just think we have a big sample size of him being very successful. And I mean, that's just like the bird in the hand, where you're always kind of chasing what the potential could be with Luke Hughes, but I just want the production right now, and I think the production is higher than what you can get from Luke Hughes.
Yeah, I think where a lot of it comes with Luke Hughes, like you see the talent, and everyone wants to be there with Luke Hughes when he has that breakout, but it's really tough to say like when's that breakout going to happen. I know over the off season at the Apples and Ginos, everyone was saying like, oh, this is the year, and even I was thinking, I think power play is Dougie's until he's gone. And then in a couple of leagues, I found myself drafting Luke Hughes anyways. So got to ride it. I believe in the talent. It's a difficult situation here. We're going to jump into a couple quick comments. I swear, guys, these comments are just flying through. So we got to do our best here to respond to these.
Yep.
I don't know what to do with JT Miller. Like, who's a good trade for him? That's really interesting because he isn't producing the way we all thought he would. But if you look at his underlyings, like they're still over on the season, they're still pretty good. It's a tough to say. Are either of you, I guess, looking to acquire some JT Miller?
I actually obviously it depends your league settings. In our league, JT Miller's consistently one of the best players in the league, and I actually made the mistake of drafting with my first round pick this year in the 9th overall, and then I got offered McDavid for Miller and Tage, and I snapped that up. So so I offloaded him, but like I knew as I was offloading him, like I mean that was a no-brainer for me, but I did fully know that he is a huge buy low. And look, I mean, he's been awful for most of the season. He's still averaging around like 0.8 points per game. He's got like 2 shots, like 12 face-off wins, 2 hits. I mean, look, if you wanted him to be that 100-point player that is his ceiling, I don't think that's going to happen. But in a Cats league or any league with face-off wins and bangs, he's still a solid guy. Rangers have the best playoff schedule. So if I have him, I'm not selling him unless it's a crazy offer like the one I got. And if you can buy him, then, I'd be interested for the right price.
Mm-hmm. A follow-up to that from someone else. We got Gunther for JT Miller. Are any of you doing this?
Slam dunk.
I would take JT for sure.
Slam dunk. Especially if you're looking at the playoff schedule come, playoff time, week 21 to 23, you're adding a lot of games there. And with the bangs, I think JT just becomes too much value there to pass up.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we got our second trade here. This was submitted by Lucio Mancuso, 39. This is a 12-team. Goals are worth 6.5. Assists are 4.5. Power play is 1. Shorthanded points 1. Shots on goal 0.7. Hits 0.7. Blocks are 1. Goalies, you got wins are 4. Shutouts, wow, this is so long. I'm having a hard time even explaining. Shutouts are 6, saves 0.6, loss -2, goals against -2. Now, this is technically a two-parter, so we're going to start with the first one, the first trade here, giving away Mikhail Sergachev, and you're going to be receiving Adam Fox. Kevin, I know you're up first. Give us your grade.
Yes. Listen, I think this is an A+. I love acquiring Adam Fox. He's one of the premier, power play 1 defensemen. It's really unfortunate that he's hurt for extended amount of time, but that just gives you a window of opportunity to buy. And I think Sergachev in his own right is a good power play 1 defenseman, but I'm offloading a PP1 defenseman that has a 2-game week in the championship final for an Adam Fox who is not only better but also has an elite playoff schedule. I think it's just a slam dunk of a trade. You're getting amazing value. Stash Adam Fox on your IR after the trade. You just pick up a Klingberg or something to bridge the gap, and I think the value you're getting from this is tremendous.
Yeah, that playoff schedule, you really got to be looking into that because that is huge. Like the Rangers have such a games advantage throughout the playoffs into the finals as well. So that's super important. Brings me to my boom. The guys, FYI, they definitely forced my hand to make me do the boom celebration. So boom.
Should we all do it?
Yeah. Boom. I'm giving this an A+ too. I don't really need to regurgitate anything here, but really the playoff schedule, better player overall. And, you can stash him on your IR until he comes back and you pick up a streamer like John Klingberg who's available and is red hot apparently. So yeah, that's worth it for me. And brings us to Josh's jurisdiction.
Honestly, like you don't even have to say the Cats for me. If the categories were players named Mikhail and born in Russia, I would still take Adam Fox. This is like such a no-brainer to me. It's unbelievable. He's just better in every single way. Yes, the injury is tough, so obviously you want to be in a position to be able to afford the empty roster spot. But like you said, you could just stream what Sergachev's been doing. So yeah, no-brainer.
Yeah. And one other thing that should worth mentioning is the one who submitted this trade, I guess, brings us to the next one. Yeah, so Lucio Mancuso. Okay, you know what? Same guy as last one. He's doing really well. So he can also afford, like having a streamer. You don't need the points right now. He's up in a top spot. He's obviously eyeing a buy into the playoffs in week 11, which I'm going to assume you have a great team. Your team is stacked. So I would definitely, that also something I take into consideration here. Which brings us to our third trade. So same person submitted this one. This is mostly for the second part of the trade, which is Jeek and Sergachev. You're going to be giving away, and you're going to be receiving Svechnikov and McAvoy. And I don't think I'm up first. I believe it is Josh. We're going to start with you. Give us your trade. What do you think?
I'm not a fan of this one. As someone who drafted Svechnikov and had him for that dark period of time that was the first month and a half of the season, you just know in the back of your mind that could happen again. Rod could, he could step on Rod's toe or something, and then Rod's like, all right, back to the gulag with you, So no, I definitely, and I still like acquiring Svech at that time when his value was low. I don't like acquiring him when he's on line 1, power play 1, and you have to assume that's his value. And then Eriksson Ek is a great bangers guy, and he just got that whole Quinn Hughes thing. I know a lot of it is hype, but a lot of it is also true. The team just did get a lot better. That power play is going to be a lot better. So yeah, so that part of the trade is I'd much prefer Eriksson Ek. And then the defenseman, I'd give a slight edge to McAvoy, but it's close enough that the top part of the trade makes it an L for me.
Yeah. You know what? I will say I like this trade a little bit more, but I'm still not doing this trade. And to those points, like during the regular season, at least Sergachev, he has a better off night schedule, which is really important to get you to the playoffs. And Jeek, like we just talked about, he has that boost from Quinn Hughes. We know that their power play started the season red hot, and then it went like I think it was in the gulag with Svechnikov, right? It wasn't doing that great, and now it's going to get a little bit of a boost. So in a league where, you know, hits, blocks, shots, they're all weighted. I think, shots and hits are weighted the same, and then blocks are a little bit more. I think that just carries a lot of weight, and you want to make sure you have Jeek on your team instead of Svechnikov, because you're right. At any point, Svech can get knocked right back down to the fourth line. He doesn't seem to be a fan favorite of Rod. So for me, I'm not making this trade. Kevin.
All right. Well, honestly, I feel like I kind of split the difference on both of you guys, because I can definitely see, like, if he gave context that, you know, his team, he's very confident that he's going to make the playoffs. And if you look at the playoffs, like, this is a significant boost to his playoff schedule. And that's the one thing that I think leans me into, I could see making this trade. I do feel like you're selling a little low on Eriksson Ek, because I think right now its perceived value is much higher than what you're getting in this trade. But, you know, come the championship final, would I rather McAvoy with 4 games or Sergachev with 2 games? I'm taking McAvoy, you know, every day of the week. And then I think Svech and Eriksson Ek are pretty similar in their banger categories and what they'll get you for shots and hits. But then it's like, who are you banking on getting more, being hotter at that point of the season? And, you know, Svech has his own risk associated with him. Do you think Eriksson Ek is going to be line 1, PP1 the whole season and in the last season of the Fantasies championship? So I'm definitely leaning towards doing this if you think that, you know, you're making the finals, but it's a lot of risk that you're taking on, and I do think you could have got better value for the guys you're giving.
Yeah, you know what? Got to apply you right off, because I feel like we've been agreeing on too much. So we love to see that, a little bit of discourse here. No, that's really good. That is a great point to bring up. Like, if you are so far ahead in your league and you're already eyeing a playoff spot, like, yeah, you know, tighten up on that playoff schedule, because that's going to be really important for you. Kevin, we got someone here throwing you under the bus. Kevin was in favor of this trade in Discord. Do y'all think he's right or off his rocker? I got Werenski and keep him in round 8 next year by giving up Gunther and Bouchard. Neither can be kept. Yeah, let's start. Yeah, Josh, what do you think?
I think that Kevin is a fantasy genius, and you should never doubt him. But look, if you take out the keeper aspect of this, I'm not doing this. Never.
Yeah, obviously.
But the keeper that's a big thing, right? A round 8 Werenski, that's nuts. So obviously, it also depends your situation this year. Like, if you think this is the difference between you winning and losing the championship, then don't do it. You know. But if you're in a spot where it's not going to move the needle that much, then I'm absolutely taking this. So I fully agree.
Yeah. And then a little context, not that it matters, I think, for the situation, but goals, assists, power play points, shots, blocks, hits, PIMs, face-off wins. Yeah, I love Werenski. I want Werenski, and if you can keep him with an 8, that is huge.
Massive value.
Lots of value, yeah. Like, if you look, a lot of leagues, like, Werenski's also going in first round, second round, in a lot of leagues. So if you can keep it with an 8, it's like, come on. Next one here, someone offered me Heiskanen for Sherratt straight up, and I took it. Was there some reason, underlying numbers wise, that I should have kept Sherratt, or did I make the right call?
Was there collusion?
Yeah. Was there collusion, and how much money was there on the table? You're taking Heiskanen all day. No, that's crazy. So, was everyone else asleep in the league? Like, how does the vetoes work in that league?
I don't think you'll find a bigger Ben Sherratt fan than the two of us. Like, I have him on my roster, and I've been, you know, singing his praises. And Josh literally named his baby after Ben Sherratt.
Okay,
I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
It's a coincidence.
His wife's biggest crush is Ben Sherratt, and they named their baby Benjamin. So I'm like, okay. But this is a fleece. I'm sorry. I mean, Sherratt's a great banger guy, but
the only underlying numbers here are what the guy's BAC was when he sent the offer.
Yeah. Moving on here. What do you think about John Carlson and Tage Thompson for Matt Boldy? Carlson, Thompson for Matt Boldy. Kevin, why don't I throw it to you first? You making this trade?
I mean, I loved getting John Carlson off my roster. He's been the type of player that we've, you know, recommended to just like get him off your roster at all costs. So this really comes down to just Tage and Boldy, and I feel like they're just so close in value that I'm giving the edge to the guy with the better playoff schedule, and that's Tage Thompson. So at the end of the day, like Minnesota, hype of the Quinn Hughes trade, they have a 3-3-3 in weeks 21 to 23. Tage has more games than that. John Carlson is a throw-in, so I feel like I'd rather keep Carlson and Tage and try to find a different kind of trade that I can make happen.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think in terms of the point productions, at least, I'd give the edge to Matt Boldy, but I don't think it's enough for me to jump ship to make that trade, to be honest.
Yep.
So yeah, I agree with you there. We also got a follow-up. Also, Mark Stone is hot, but I can't see him being healthy. Should I keep or trade? If he's hot, trade him. I think he must have gone a game without getting a point now, but the
first one.
Yeah, like he's been nuclear. That can't keep up all season. He's not that guy. He's not that guy.
You're not that
guy, pal. Okay, Josh, going to throw this one over to you here. Would you drop Leshunov or McCann for Hronik, Manson, Matt Roy, Bichelle, Benson, or Zucker for fantasy playoffs?
Okay, that's a lot of names thrown at me. I think both Levshunov and McCann are droppable for the right person. So let's see if the right person is on this list. Matt Roy, no interest. Hronik, no interest. Manson and Bichelle are pure bangers. That depends what your team needs. Benson, I'm not that interested in right now, but if Buffalo makes some moves and he cements himself on power play 1, then yes. The most interesting name for me is Zucker. He's just been really, really solid. I would drop either of those guys for Zucker.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I just would like to see Zucker stay in the lineup for a little bit longer. I feel like he's just been unlucky here. Next one here. Thoughts on ASP? Do you think he gets PP1? I mean, he's been putting up some points, but his ice time not too great. Do I think he could get PP1? Like, realistically, he could, but I don't think so. I don't know if you guys disagree, but I don't see ASP getting PP1 this year.
The only way he gets PP1 is if Seider is really struggling and the power play is like not doing well, but it's been going well, and I don't see that. And I think ASP, I'm not really interested in picking him up in any kind of format right now. Like, yeah, he's hot. Unless you're in the deepest of leagues, I'd be interested. But the ice time is just not there. The production is not sustainable unless he gets power play 1. So unless that happens, I'm not really interested.
Yeah, I will add, I was really dialed into this situation because I had Seider on my team for most of the year. And he did get power play 1 at one point. And the reason for that was not because Seider was bad on the power play. Like, that power play is like top 5 in the league. They're unreal. But Seider made a couple plays where he bobbled the puck at the blue line on the power play that led to either shorthanded goals or shorthanded opportunities. And the coach clearly didn't have much tolerance for that. So then he put ASP on there, but then ASP did the same thing, and then Seider got it back. So I don't think it's impossible for ASP to get it if Seider has some like defensive mishaps like that on the power play, but it doesn't seem like anything that's going to stick.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Moving on here. Let's get to our 4th trade here. This one is going to be submitted by James. I wonder if that was supposed to be James and then his Discord maybe spelled it wrong. I'm very curious. I'll have to ask him. But 12-team Cats, we got goal, assist, power play points, shorthanded points, shots, hits, and blocks. You're going to be giving away Jeek and Jay Fowler, so Montreal's goalie here. Montreal's goalie, the future, gentlemen? I don't know. And you're going to be receiving Jesper Bratt. I'm going to kick things off, giving this a big boom. Brian's boom gives it an A+. I like I said already, goalies, I feel like you can find on the waiver wire if you're trying to, finish up a tight week or some point, and I think you're going to be getting the best player in return. So for me, easy A+. I love me some Jesper Bratt. We already talked about him, why you should be looking to pick him up anyways. So for me, A+. Josh, moving on to you.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer. I think there's a typo here. I'd put A++. But no, I mean, first of all, this is a 1-for-1. Jacob Fowler's not has no sway in this trade, and Bratt easily over Eriksson Ek for me. So yeah, easy one.
Easy peasy. And Kevin, round us up.
Same thing. Both of you guys did a good job of covering all the bases. I think the last thing is just like better playoff schedule as well on top of it. So not only you're upgrading player, you're upgrading your schedule. Fowler could be back in the AHL next week. So
yeah, actually, that gives me a good second to pause here, and because you guys are Habs fans, what is going on in their goalie situation? Who's their goalie? Who do you think is going to be who's going to get the majority of starts rest of the year?
Monty.
Okay. I was going to say, yeah, maybe hot take because he just got sent to Laval, but it's going to be Montembeault.
They need him to be the guy. Like Dobesh he's a good backup, but I don't think he's the main guy. Fowler, I would love for him to like show us enough that he can be the starter moving forward, but he's just so young and they're paying money to these other guys. I think Monty goes back in AHL, gets his game back, comes back up, and hopefully has a positive stretch. But right now it's looking bleak.
Also, like the Habs defense aren't doing their goalies any favors, and they're not going to leave Fowler out to dry when he's the goalie of the future. So they'd rather have him like develop well in the AHL.
Yeah. And it doesn't help the Habs. They also have a couple of injuries on the back line as well. Like Matheson's out, and Gooley. I just drew Gooley. That's it. Gooley is a stud, and him being out, that definitely hurts.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So next one here, we got our fifth trade. This was submitted by Teamus. We got 12 teams. Goals are 6, assists 4, power play are 2, shots on goal 0.8, and hits are 8. You're going to be giving away Matt Barzal and Waiver, and you're going to be receiving Zibanejad and Zeev Buium. Josh, we're going to kick it off with you. What do you think of this?
Yeah, not a big fan of this one, honestly. I think Buium is pretty much a drop. I know everyone got really hyped with the trade, and then he puts up 2 power play points in his first game. If anyone watched the game, those were 2 of the flukiest power play points I've ever seen. Like one of them, his goal was like he shot it way away from like the net, and then it hit a defenseman's skate and like floated into the net. So no, I mean like look, he was Minnesota's power play 1 defenseman, and then got traded to a team where he's on a way worse power play with way worse players, and everyone's expecting him to suddenly blow up. So no, I'm not the biggest Buium believer. So I'm viewing this as kind of a 2-for-1. Zibanejad, like I prefer him over Barzal, but I don't think it's that big of a difference. And then, look, even though this league doesn't have blocks, it still has hits, still has shots. So Waiver is still a solid asset to have. So I would take them.
All right, can't complain with that. Kevin, you like this a little bit more?
I mean, listen, this is not a trade that I was really dying to do, but I was trying to be a little more generous and less like Josh, let's say. But no, this is not the trade that I'm trying to pull off. I think Buium is the big asterisk here. Like these really what makes or breaks this trade. If you believe in him, then listen, I guess you got good value. But I'm not trying to risk my season on trading for Zeev Buium and giving up top value for him as well. Like I'm not saying Barzal and Waiver are exceptional players for your fantasy team. Like I prefer Zib with the playoff schedule as well. But I'd rather Waiver over Buium any day of the week right now, even though he's not on power play 1.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I can't argue with those points, but I actually thought of this a little bit more, and I decided I think I actually do like this trade. I'm looking at number 1, Zibby, better playoff schedule, which is really important. He's going to hit more than Barzal. He's probably going to end similar points, I think, with Barzal. But the big thing for me is Waiver. I think Buium's going to get a lot more ice time. He's going to get a lot of opportunity in Vancouver. Yeah, like he's not going to be putting up 2 power play points a game, no chance. But he could accidentally run into some pucks, get a couple blocks, or there's no blocks. He could accidentally run into people, get a couple hits. There could be a situation there. Whereas Calgary, the worse they do as the season goes on, I think the less value you're actually going to see out of Waiver. I don't think he's going to hold, like he won't be power play 1 the whole year. I think they have other guys there. I think they're going to try to play up Rasmus Anderson, get him traded. And then as soon as he's gone, you got Zane Parekh to take over power play 1. So I don't think he's going to put up the power play points there. So just for that reason alone, I think I'd actually lean a little bit towards the Zibby and Buium side of things. But like I said, that's just my take, guys. That's just my take. So we do
not have Waiver on my team either. Like I'm not. Don't get me wrong. It's just the Buium is a big asterisk.
Yeah, I think every single person that I know that has Waiver on their team has complained about Waiver at one point or another. So yeah, doesn't surprise me too much here. Let's just jump into the comments here. We got a couple more. What do you think about this blockbuster for my points league? Connor, I'm going to guess it's Kyle Connor, Tage Thompson, and Jarvis for Carlson, Brady Tkachuk, and Stützle. Wow. Connor, Thompson, Jarvis.
Do we know what the settings are?
Yeah, that's important. Points league, but
I'm assuming it's heavily favoring, goals, assists, and power play points. So to me, I mean, I'll just give my take right away. It feels bad because I have Brady Tkachuk and we play in a Bangers Cats league, so he's very valuable there, but significantly less valuable in a points league. So for me, I'm taking the first trio: Connor, Thompson, and Jarvis. I think all of those guys have great points upsides, and Jarvis has been really bad on the power play, but I expect that to get a little better. And I think you're getting more points overall if you take those 3 guys.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you on that. like Jarvis still going to put up goals. Tage Thompson, Kyle Connor, they're all putting up a lot of points. Brady Tkachuk is not known like he goes sometimes in the first, second round, but he's not known to put up a lot of points. So I think in a points league, he's not valued as highly. Leo Carlson, obviously stud, but I think the point production could drop off a little bit. And Stützle is I would go with the first three. Josh, is that what you're thinking too?
My first thought was the opposite, but then I realized it's not the same settings as our league. So in our league, like Tkachuk is like a top 6 pick. So that's what makes it different. But no, in a points league, I fully agree with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Oh, I think we got a shout out here. Kevin and Josh in the house. Love the matchup. Two best fantasy pods. Yeah, we love to see it. We appreciate them jumping on and they're saving the podcast because we have two others that bailed on me. So we're gonna scold Ryan and Evan one more time. So we love to see that. Thanks again, guys. We got another comment here. Morrissey for Fox. Would you give up Morrissey and get Fox? Is that what I read? Morrissey for Fox.
Actually, I think more than just Fox if you're giving Morrissey right now.
Actually, how are you reading this? Are you giving up Morrissey to get Fox, or are you giving up Fox for? Wait, I'm confusing myself.
I'm reading it as I'm giving up Josh Morrissey to go get Adam Fox, and I do prefer Adam Fox when both of them are healthy. Morrissey's honestly a little bit of a buy low right now, given his recent performances, and I feel like last month he was a sell high, so he's been fluctuating a lot. The consistency is not really there. I feel like if you're giving Josh Morrissey, though, he still has the name pull that you should be able to get Adam Fox plus. And I do prefer Fox, but you want to make sure you're getting proper value when you're giving a player like Morrissey.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this might be our 6th. Or I think we've got 2 more here. We got trade grade 10 teams. This is submitted by Lucio Mancus 39. Again, we love to see it. Keep them coming. He's our number 1 fan today. We got 10 team points, 6.5 for a goal, 4.5 for an assist, shorthanded points 1, power play point 1, shots on goal 0.7, hits 0.7, and blocks just a little bit more at 1. So you're going to be giving away Mikhail Sergachev, and you're going to be getting Victor Hedman. And I think I'm the one who starts it off here. Yep, giving this a no booms for me because I'm not making this trade. I'm not doing this, and the reason being is I don't know how Hedman's going to be when he comes back. Like we talked about this already. Sergachev seems to be coming up an awful lot. He has a lot of opportunity in Utah. We know who he is, but I don't know. For me, it's just too tough of a pill to swallow to pick up Hedman and give away Sergachev. Like throughout the regular season, Utah has one of the best off-night schedules, which is very valuable. And Hedman, like he might not even be power play 1 when he comes back. Darren Radish has been lights out, so I'm not making this trade. It caught me because I'm looking at the name recognition. I'm like, oh, Victor Hedman, we love that, but I'm not making this trade. Kevin, what about you?
I mean, I feel like we're saying the same thing, but you give a significantly higher rating than I did. I didn't want to be too mean. I didn't want to go lower than a C, but yeah, this is not a trade that I would recommend doing for anybody. I think Hedman's value right now is in the gutter. I think, like you said, like Radish may just keep the job when he's back, and Hedman's out for 2 months. And listen, if Hedman is back playing like Victor Hedman that we expect, this feels like a good trade, right? But there's so many pieces in play right now that's a far possibility. And I think Sergachev, if you want to trade him, you can get significantly better value than Victor Hedman, and that's what I'd be trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And you did mention, Kevin, that you don't want to be too mean, which is totally fine because we're going to go into Josh's jurisdiction. I have a feeling he might be a little bit more harsh. So, Josh, give it to us.
I forgot that there were people's feelings involved. Okay, I was just giving my honest opinion. I mean, to me, I just view this as dropping Sergachev. Like, honestly, like that's how much. First of all, Hedman's literally not playing until February, so you're not getting anything until then. And then if it was that situation where Hedman was power play 1 all year, then he gets injured, Radish comes in, and now that's where we are. It would be a different story. But no, even when he was healthy, Radish was power play 1. Radish is putting up nonstop 3-point games. There's no reason for me to believe that Hedman's getting power play 1 back when he comes back from injury. He's older. He's now going to be injured. And so I have zero interest in acquiring Hedman. If I have him on my team, I'm looking for anyone who thinks that he's going to get power play 1 back when he comes back, and I'm trying to sell him. So I'm not the biggest Sergachev guy either. I mean, no, Sergachev's solid, but the playoff schedule I don't love. But to me, this just feels like getting nothing in return.
I think you should. I think honestly, I would recommend like acquiring Hedman, but on the cheap. Like Sergachev feels expensive if you're giving him for Hedman. Like
You
But if
would
you
give an
can get
actual
him,
asset to get Hedman?
I wouldn't give up a very valuable asset. But like, if I'm sending like the worst player on my team and I'm able to get Victor Hedman as a stash because the other manager is desperate, then listen, the upside for him getting PP1 is there. But like, I don't want to give anything that's going to hurt my team in the immediate future.
Yeah, but how desperate does that manager have to be?
That's it, right?
I mean, they must be very desperate. But like, if I picked up a John Klingberg, I'd flip John Klingberg for Hedman. But
Okay,
I'm a
fine,
Klingberg
yeah.
hater.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
It's funny. I feel like that's a general consensus that we're all John Klingberg haters, but he keeps putting up points. Like at
It's
some
been
point,
5 games.
Yeah,
I picked him up. I'm not the full hater, but I am trying to sell high.
Over 50% of his production on the season has happened in the last like week and a half.
Yeah.
So
It's 'cause
what
he
are you
realized
trying
he's the
to
GOAT.
believe? This is the guy that got demoted to PP2 and got scratched earlier this year.
I mean, that's true. I feel like it's gonna happen again at some point, but like, I don't know. John Klingberg, every time he goes back up to power play one, him and Celebrini, they just seem to have something that works. I don't know, it's working. I don't know if you saw Klimberg's goal the other day, but that 1-2 pass between him and Celebrini, I was like, who is that? Makar? Like, who is that?
Dangle Crosby in overtime.
Oh,
that's Crosby.
Crazy things. Crosby. I don't know. Poor guy. Crosby the GOAT though. So we'll leave it at that. We got our 7th and final trade. This one is a whopper. It's a Cats league, so there's goals, assists, points, power play points, shots, hits, and blocks. You're going to be giving away 4 players. You're going to be receiving 4 players. So you're giving away Joel Eriksson Ek. We've heard that name a lot today. You're giving up Zach Hyman, Tom Wilson, and Tage Thompson. You're going to be receiving Leon Draisaitl, Fantilli, Marchessault, and Josh Norris. Josh, we'll start with you.
Okay, I'll start by saying this was by far the hardest one to evaluate. I think you just keep adding. This is why I don't like making trades that are more than a 3 for 3. And even then, that's like a lot, because like it just becomes harder to evaluate when there's so many names in the mix. So I'm trying to like split it up into pieces to try and get an idea of if this is a good trade or not. So the way I'm trying to see it is, okay, let's take the 2 best players from the giveaway side, which is Wilson and Tage, right? That's the 2 best players that you're giving away. Would I do those 2 guys for Draisaitl? Yeah, I would. I know that Wilson's unreal. I know that Tage is great, but it's Draisaitl. So let's say we take that as one chunk of the trade. I like the Draisaitl side. Then you look at like who's the 3rd best there. I don't know if you guys rank Jeek or Hyman higher. And then we look at like, you're right. So like we got Jeek, put him against Norris, a healthy Norris. I don't think that's as far off as it may seem to a lot of people. And then Hyman Fantilli. I know Hyman's on fire right now, and Fantilli's been playing pretty slow. But ever since he got line 1 power play 1, I'm way higher on Fantilli. Not versus Hyman. I still prefer Hyman, but I just mean the gap is not as big as I thought. So I'm giving it a B. I think that if your team is looking for consolidation, I think it's a solid move, but I could definitely see it being an L as well.
Yeah. Yep, that's fair for me. And Kevin, what about you?
A little less enthused than Josh, but I still think that like I like reluctantly accept this trade. And I think it's because you're getting the best player in the trade by far. Like there's nobody close to Draisaitl's value in this. And when you get the best player, usually you have high chances of winning the trade. And if I look at like my own projections, I feel like the part that you're receiving here gets you a win at power play points and a slight win at points. And I think that really holds a lot of impact in a categories league where hits and blocks are much more replaceable than streaming power play points. Like depending how deep your league is, like guys that are actually valuable in those categories are not always on waivers. So I think you get the best players. I think Fantilli and Norris have sneaky value. Marchessault feels like a throw-in at this point.
That's
but
a drop, yeah.
He could get hot, let's say, but like at least I'm not banking on it. But this is I still like this trade, but it feels like a blockbuster and that a lot of things could go wrong.
Yeah. Yep. And I'll wrap this off. I'll wrap this up with AC. So I'm not making this trade, and I'll quickly walk through this because it's a tough pill to swallow when you look. There's so many names involved. And in a category league, I think you're just giving up 2 actually, Kevin, to your point, like hits, blocks, those are a lot easier to pick up on the waiver wire than points, which is very true. But you got to look at what that's associated with these players. Like Wilson's having a great year. Jeek, he gets a boost from Quinn Hughes. Tage Thompson is great there. they all shoot a lot. I think collectively, the four on the left-hand side, so G, Hyman, Wilson, Thompson, they shoot more than Draisaitl, Fantilli, Marchessault, Norris. They hit more. They're on power play 1. They're going to get some points. So for me, it almost seems like it's too much to give for that what you're receiving, because keeping in mind, you're probably going to drop Marchessault. Norris is probably going to go back to IR at some point. He's never been able to stay healthy. So I'm really looking at this at like Draisaitl and Fantilli are the two major focuses I'm looking at in this trade. I love those players. But for me, I think I'm just giving away a little bit too much. If I could do that same trade, but don't give away Tage Thompson and I don't acquire, I don't know, like Marchessault, if someone would do that, I'd feel much better there. But for me, I think it's just you're giving away a little bit too much in a category league.
Yeah, I think it also depends how deep the league is, right? Like, who are you picking up when you drop Marchessault? If it's someone who can actually contribute to your team, then that makes it a lot nicer.
Yeah, and that's the beauty with open up a spot for streamers. Like if you plan on dropping a Marchessault, like the games in hand is really a big benefit, especially in a Cats league, actually even a points league too. If you can maximize your games and have more games than your opponent, you're more likely to end the week with a little bit more points. In a Cats league, a little bit more in whatever category you're trying to overcome. So that is super valuable. That's just kind of where I'm at. So it's funny enough, I actually submitted that trade. That's a trade for one of my leagues that's going through to get processed tonight. And actually the guy I'm playing against is acquiring Leon Draisaitl. So I was really hoping everyone else would boohoo it as well, but it didn't happen. So now I got to deal with Draisaitl. So we'll see how that one goes. So moving on here, we're going to move on to our last segment of this episode here. We're going to do a little segment called Would You Rather? I know that Ryan and Evan did a similar segment last week. They ran through a couple players. We're not going to go through a couple. We're just going to focus on these two here. So I pulled these two out of a category league, and they're very, very similarly ranked in terms of their I guess their ranking where it stands today, and even their ADP at draft. It was close, but where they're ranked right now, you got Tage Thompson and Cole Caulfield. Josh, why don't I start with you? Who would you rather, Tage Thompson or Cole Caulfield?
I feel like this is a trap because we're Habs fans, but I got to go with, and these are both alliteration kings of their teams. So it's, they both got that going for them, but I got to go with Tage. As much as I love Caulfield, I think, first of all, you're looking at like any backouts, like Caulfield's like in my mind, he's a 4 shots on goal per game guy. Tage in real life is a 4 shots on goal per game guy. So you give the shots advantage to Tage. Tage has, if your league counts face-off wins, he randomly gets face-off wins. So, and then hits and blocks both are kind of irrelevant, although Tage was hitting a lot at the start of the year. So if one of them would get the edge, it would be him. So that's the whole backcats part of it. Power play points, Caulfield gets the edge. Habs are randomly good for the first time ever on the power play. So that's really exciting. So Dev and Buffalo, although, if Norris can stay healthy, Buffalo can give them a run for their money because he seems to transform that power play, but I'm still going to give the edge to Caulfield. And then points, I think, probably similar, probably around 0.9 to 1 point per game for both guys. So at the end of the day, it's like, how big of a difference is the power play points versus a guaranteed like shots on goal, hits and face-off wins. So that's why I'm going Tage.
Okay. Yep. And Kevin, do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, honestly, this is so close, but I'm trying to fight the inner urge to choose the Habs player, but I'm also going Tage. Yeah. Nobody can say we're not loyal to fantasy value first, but for all the reasons Josh said, I think Tage has the sureness of the more shots on goal, which honestly is like the deal maker here for me, because I think they're so similar in all the other facets of the categories that the extra shots makes a difference. And I'm also optimistic for, the power play being, it can give the Habs a little bit run for their money. Like I wouldn't be shocked if the Habs power play slows down a little bit and the Buffalo power play keeps a little bit more consistency. So I'm going Tage, but I don't think it's a slam dunk either way. Like, if we look back in a month from now, we could be saying something different. So
yeah, I think it's important also, if you're looking at this as a trade, it would be the biggest thing you'd have to take a look at is 1, playoff schedules, and 2, where you need help in terms of the eligibility. Because if you're looking at Tage Thompson, most leagues center right wing, and then most leagues Cole Caulfield's left wing, right wing. So if you're short on center and maybe a wing, Tage would be the answer, whereas Cole Caulfield, but looking at just what they've done throughout the season. So Tage Thompson's 29 points, 117 shots on goal, 26 hits, 16 blocks. Cole Caulfield, 33 points, 90 shots. So what is that? Math is hard. Almost 30 shots less. 29 hits, so he's hitting a little bit more, and 9 blocks, so less blocks. But so Josh, to your point, like the peripherals, those are kind of a toss up, really. Like at the end of the year, it's going to be like, okay, that's not their forte. That's not really what they really do. But they are hitting a little bit. And then the shots, really, you think you would expect to see Cole Caulfield shooting the puck a lot more, and he just doesn't. So for me, I'm also leaning Tage Thompson just because that shot value. If Cole Caulfield drove up the shots, I would actually lean the other way and go straight to Cole Caulfield.
But let's think about this though. Like what about come playoffs time? Like you're in the semifinals of your league, and then you have the finals ahead of you, and Caulfield has an extra game in the semis and an extra game in the finals. They're already so close. Does that actually sway you? Like, yeah, maybe Tage is better for the rest of the season, but come playoff time, like who do you want on your roster?
I mean, if we're getting really into the weeds of the playoff schedule, Buffalo has an off night in the semis. That is only Buffalo and Rangers have that off night. So it's essentially the same as having 4 games of Caulfield because you're going to have to bench someone. So it's not that big of a playoff difference. But if it was, the 4-4 versus like a 3-3, then I could see the argument being made. But I don't think it's that much of a better playoff schedule.
That's a great point to bring up. So for me, I think I'm still leaning Tage. If and only if Cole Caulfield's shot volume went up, I would actually go the other way and go straight to Cole Caulfield. So that, I believe, is it. I think, yes, it is. So we're wrapping up right about now here. For those of you that are familiar with Apples and Ginos, if you're not following us on the Discord already, jump into the Discord. Make sure you like, rate, review, subscribe, comment. We appreciate all the comments. If you want a trade evaluated, please send it over to the Trade Talks mailbag in the Discord of Apples and Ginos, or you can message me directly as well. More than happy to review any trades. But that's kind of where we're going to leave it here today. Kevin, Josh, did either of you guys want to give one more plug here before we hop off?
For sure. Thanks for having us on. If you're interested in following our content, it's Banger Management, Fantasy Hockey, everywhere you can find us, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, all that good stuff. Discord as well. So if you're into the Apples and Ginos, we have a lot of crossover, I think, already. So come join us in the Banger Management community as well, and we'd love to have you.
Absolutely.
What he said.
And Josh echoes that. Awesome.
Yeah.
So that's all we've got for this episode. Hopefully it brought you some value and helped you get a little bit better at fantasy hockey today. Many thanks to Matt Creamer for supplying the music for the podcast. Thanks for listening. We appreciate your time, and we will catch you next time.